Okay, so I think we're off. So we have d4, I'll play knight f6. Okay, that's kind of a bit passive, but it should be fine. Maybe c5 in one go. If he plays, oh, okay, f4. Okay, this is not unusual. I forget what this is called. Maybe I can like try something tricky by putting this here immediately. I don't know. Maybe I just go with c5. Just allow him. Yeah, let's go with c5, knight c6, because he wants to put a knight on e5, probably, which is fine. I just want to try to break down the center. And the thing about f4 is he's already created kind of a backward pawn here, which isn't that big of an issue this early in the game. The e-file is closed, but maybe in the future, like this pawn structure can be attacked in some way. All right, knight c6. Let's just play normal. I expect knight f3. Maybe b6, bishop b7 someday. Okay, that's slightly unexpected. So that's like, it's not the best move, just because he is, he moved his bishop to d3 and then back to b5. I could try a tricky tactic here where I take and I try to give this check, so I can maybe pick up this bishop, which doesn't work just because he has knight c3 to block the check anyway, so it's not that big a deal. I could also play something like queen b6, which looks like fun, so I think I will. That's not the queen. So I'll play queen b6. Let's see what he does, because he can't play knight c3 yet, because the pawn's in the way. I'm just curious how he wants to defend this bishop. Maybe bishop d7 to break the pin, especially if you play something like queen b3. All right, he doesn't play queen b3. I've seen this position before. This position is like not unfamiliar. I've seen this type of position before. Bishop b7 is normal here. It's breaking the pin. And in some situations, I can take on e5 after bishop b7, but... Okay. Should I play a6? I mean, a6... I can't play a6 yet because this rook's hanging. So maybe I play something like bishop b7 and castle. Bishop b7, though, he might... Do I want to play that? Takes. I'll play bishop b7. He hasn't played knight f3 yet. And I really need to... I'm just going to finish development. I'm not going to worry too much about this queenside shenanigans. He's playing pretty fast. I expect knight f3 now. Knight f3 makes a lot of sense because you want to play knight e5, put more pressure on this pinned piece. Maybe I should have played bishop d6 so I can snap off e5. But, okay. Bishop d7, castles. I don't really mind this so far. Bishop d7, if he wants to play knight e5, he can be my guest. Maybe I can take, actually, on knight e5. I could probably take. Right, knight e5, can I just snap it off? Knight e5 takes, because if he takes, I just take back and I've won a piece. If he recaptures, like with a pawn or something, I think I just take here first, and I'm winning a piece either way. Okay, he decides to take on c6, which relieves the pressure. He probably wants to play knight e5, doesn't have to worry about knight takes e5, which makes some sense. The only thing is now I get a bit of a tempo on the queen. Otherwise I maybe would have taken with the b-pawn to keep more pressure on this structure. But I actually like this. Obviously I'm getting a tempo, so that's not bad. If he puts the queen back on d1, I think I can claim something. Puts her on c2. Almost want to play knight e4 in this position. Knight e4 looks really nice, but I don't want him to play to knight here. But it's unclear at this point how he plans to finish development, because this bishop and this knight both want to go to the same square. If he plays knight a3, which might be what he's thinking of doing, then it's not clear where what this knight's future is. He might have to move this queen away from c2. So he's already dealing with some interesting ideas. I'm wondering if knight e4 does anything here. It doesn't look like it does. It doesn't look like it achieves anything. Taking here doesn't achieve anything either, because if I take, he'll just recapture and he'll have a square for his knight. Rook c8 is normal. I'm going to castle and then play rook c8 in expectation of opening the c-file someday. And if he takes, then this is fine. I have a nice battery, so I think positionally I'm pretty happy with this opening, or with how it's gone so far at least. And he could play knight e5 someday, but I don't think I'm too scared about that. Especially if he plays knight e5 now, he's neglecting his development, I think, so. But maybe he plays knight e5 because he wants to play knight e7 to f3. Okay, now that's just weird. That's a weird move. Okay, rook g1. Obviously, he wants to play b4. I should probably try to get e5 in, but that doesn't look possible yet. Rook c8 looks a little slow, but rook c8 might be a useful move because it might dissuade him from capturing the c pawn. I'm not really afraid of g4. I don't think I am. I could always play g6, put the knight on h5, back to g7. G7. I'll play rook c8. I expect b4, which is probably the point of his previous play, but he has to be very careful now if he plays b4, because this knight's going to be loose in a lot of variations. I can't draw arrows today. And, potentially I can reroute this knight in a number of ways. Can I take on b4? Not yet. I might be able to. Anyway, like this becomes a threat in a lot of variations too, so he has to be very careful. I think I'll take. If he plays g5, I might push. And sack, or not sack a pawn, but give back the pawn this way. Just so I can push this pawn and snap off this knight. So yeah, here I'm thinking I might just push, right? It doesn't work, does it? Takes. No, this is fine. I queen, he queens with check. I take, he takes. And the other variation, I have rook, bishop, queen. He has rook. He has two rooks, bishop, knight. So he'd be up material, right? Yeah, he'd be up material. Let's see, rook, bishop, rook, bishop. No, he'd be up a rook and knight for queen, which is not quite up material yet. If he doesn't take, I don't know what he does. Do I have any other options? Can I take here? Does that do anything? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it threatens much. Mostly I, want to push. I don't know if this knight move does anything. Maybe it's something to consider. If I go here, what will he do? Will he capture with the knight? Maybe. I think I'll push. And then, do I want to push? I can't decide. Because I might be able to get a lot of tempi if I push. Although I'm allowing his queen. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna push. Or should I? Is this good or bad? I'm gonna push. I don't mind if he takes here, obviously. My knight is very well placed on e4. Not to mention, his light squares are a bit weak, or his dark squares are a bit weak. And he has yet to finish development, but maybe I should be taking this attack more seriously. But anyway, he takes, I take. If he decides to go for this take with queen, he takes here with check. I recapture, probably with the rook, probably with the king. And then he recaptures, and at the end of the variation, I have rook, bishop, queen versus two rooks, bishop, knight. So that endgame should, or that situation should be fine for me. It shouldn't be losing or winning. But he takes, he avoids all those complications. Now I could play this move as well, this under in between move. Again, I don't know if it does anything in this particular situation. It does seem that the bishop's better placed on this square, but I can also play this and attack the knight, especially in variations where he continues pushing. So it's unclear what I want to do. If I go here, this knight's not doing anything here. So maybe I go here, and I kind of dare him to push, and I try to open the center. It seems like not a bad idea for me. The problem is he's going to push, and then he's going to play knight here. So, is that something I need to worry about? I think I'll close it up like this. And I really need to open up the center somehow. And of course I need to worry about how he plans on attacking. If he pushes the g-pawn, will I take? And if I do, with what pawn? And I have to remember I always have bishop b5 in a lot of situations. It doesn't trap the queen, but it certainly misplaces the queen. That's an interesting move. I didn't see that. I think bishop b5 here is warranted no matter what. I think I'll play it. Maybe he has this now. But it's not a big deal. I just take, and if he takes, I just capture with the rook, and he should still be fine. I think the knight was his most active piece here. Also, if he pushes, I have options of playing this check first, which may be something I should consider. Because something like knight blocks, takes with the knight. I mean, that it's not a bad way of doing it. Obviously, I can't take with a pawn if he pushes because I would lose my knight. Or can I? Am I gaining anything here? Okay, he decides just to avoid all of that again. But now his queen's on a suspicious square. And his king is starting to look less and less safe. Do I play f6? They say never play f6. f6 is usually a bad move, but in this case it might serve some purpose. Because it might help me free my pieces. Although, it's not clear how he frees his pieces. Maybe I can hope he plays this and blunders. Blunders like a mate. What do I play here? I kind of want to like somehow play a waiting move. Because I feel like he's going to make his position worse if I just wait. Like I feel like he's going to play knight e2, knight to d2. I guess I might play here as well to try to get some initiative. So I shouldn't play hope chess. I could play this. Which looks kind of nice. Do I have anything better? I don't know. I could play this, try to pressure the pawn. This can't be that bad. What's coming? I don't know, honestly. Or I could play this to try to get rid of the... I don't know, just everything looks fine. Everything looks fine. I shouldn't waste too much time thinking about this. Not to mention that this pawn... Maybe I should push the pawn. Should I push the pawn here? Because I could always potentially... I could always take with the queen and then take with the rook, and I have a nice endgame probably, right? Okay, let's play this. Now I'm threatening to push the pawn probably. And there's another threat here. I just have to be very careful. Like, these pieces are extremely aggressive. I can also consider allowing him to take here with the pawn. Like if he plays this, and just moving my king out of the way. Looks dangerous. I don't know if I want to give up the light squares like that. He's probably thinking of ways to kill me. I mean, this pawn push looks very strong and very normal. Even as a sacrifice. Do I open the F file? Do I open the H file? I don't know. Maybe I'll be opening F files safer. Because at least I blunt the queen if he pushes G6. So yeah, now he has issues maybe defending this pawn right away. He might have to play something like this, which is a little awkward. And I go on with my plan of playing d4 and trying to make use of the fact that everything here is kind of pinned. And his pieces are yet to be developed. Maybe a move like knight to a3 is very practical here. Knight a3, I take, he can take, and you know, it gets complicated. Perhaps I play check, and I take the rook. Or I just take the rook immediately. Because that rook's not defended, so... But then he has like two aggressive knights, and this knight has squares it can go to potentially, so I have to watch out for that. Okay, so at least he's thinking. so I'm catching up on time. Oh, maybe he has this move. I just saw this move. It's like forking material. It looks strong-ish, especially if he plays this to try to snap off this. Okay, he gets off the diagonal. Okay, I guess I take, right? I mean, that's like, this is a strong pawn. I take it, right? Like, there's nothing to do here. I'll take the pawn. And if he takes, I'm very happy if he captures with the bishop, because it means I'm winning another pawn. At least another pawn. Okay, I'll take the exchange. Maybe I should have taken with the queen? I don't know. Okay. So now, this looks like a puzzle. Now this looks like a puzzle. This should be like mate in 2 or 3 now. Maybe. Okay, check, queen blocks. Doesn't do anything, right? Check, queen blocks. Takes, check, doesn't do anything. Check, he blocks this way. Ah, hold on. Check. I don't have this check, otherwise this would have been really strong. Check, queen blocks. I don't have any other checks, man. I'm so sad. This looks so wrong for him. I really shouldn't trade queens here because I'm a lot better, and his king is very, very unsafe. I really shouldn't trade queens, but I almost don't want to blunder some attack. But I am going to trade queens. Sorry, I am going to avoid trading queens here. Does he have any important ideas I have to worry about? Not really. Yeah, I need to avoid trading queens. I want to have some checks available with some strength, some venom in them. I want to threaten material. I shouldn't trade queens in this position. Okay, so obviously now I think I'm completely winning. I just need to not blunder and try to convert this. And maybe probably not to get too greedy either. Okay, so he protects this pawn, he protects this check, he protects everything actually. That's actually not a bad, very resourceful, because he's defending everything, kind of. Do I have any tricks? I mean, this check still looks very nice. Blocks, like I can still force some sort of queen exchange. Ah, hold on, this check he blocks, and I go back here with check, and then he blocks again. Have I gained anything? Who knows? Maybe I can like win the rook, like by playing check. And then by taking here, there's a chance I could win the rook. I don't know if I'm calculating this correctly. I think he has one legal move here. He has to block with the queen. And I get to take on b2, I think. I don't think I have anything better here. I don't think this check does anything except repeat the position. So I think I'll take on b2. I was just talking about not getting too greedy, but I don't see how he punishes me here, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. It'd be funny if my queen's like trapped now somehow. I actually had, because now I'm threatening something really serious. I'm threatening checkmate in 1, so it's actually really serious. I just saw this. I wonder if he sees it. Okay, so at the very least he blocks a checkmate in 1. Obviously I can take here now, and I'm threatening mate in 2. Yep, so I'm threatening mate in 2. No, he doesn't. This is mate in 2 because he gets to block. So he's still alive. But this is starting to get very bad. Actually, this might be mate in 2, because especially if he plays this. Yeah, so now check. And I can pick up the rook. Because if that's like his only legal move. This is just mate in 2, I think. Or mate in a few. Yeah, this should be checkmate, no matter what. Because if he blocks with the queen, I take the rook. And this is checkmate. If he doesn't block with the queen, I play queen f2 checkmate. Okay, that was an interesting game. Might be interesting to look at it with an engine. I don't know if he wants to play another one immediately or take some time to analyze this one. Okay, looks like he's offline. Okay, he's analyzing it, so I'll analyze it too. I'll try to analyze it without an engine first. Okay. Okay, so this is normal. C5 probably, I don't know, C5 is probably okay. I mean, it makes sense. I'm trying to attack his center. C3 makes some sense, although, I mean, this is called the accordion pawn structure, and it's not the best, especially if he ends up pushing b4. This takes away an important square for his knight, which comes into play later because these pieces never end up getting developed. Okay, bishop b5. Again, he played bishop d3 to b5, so, you know, if he wanted to, he could have played bishop b5 like here, but obviously it wouldn't have been check. But maybe I play c6 and we get a different game altogether. But okay. Queen b6, just developing. Queen a4. Maybe I should have played bishop d7 here. I think I just ignore it. Oh, the engine's on somehow. Well, the evaluation's on. I don't know why how I hide the evaluation. Okay. I don't know how to hide the evaluation. Is it this? No. I have actually no idea. Multiple lines. Hold on. Enable evaluation gauge. Why is it enabled? Oh, actually, I do want it enabled. I'll take away evaluation gauge for now. Oh, come on. Okay, I don't know. This is just showing everything. This is showing like all the... Okay, I'll disable it for now. Okay, let's just look at the game itself. Okay, so Queen a4. It makes some sense, but it's going to run into issues later. Okay, so I play this. I was expecting knight e5 here. I was very happy to see him take on c6. I don't think he needed to take at all because, I mean, there was no pressure. I hadn't played a6 or anything. He should probably maintain the pressure here because if he plays knight e5, obviously I take it, but maybe he can prepare knight e5 somehow. Maybe he could play knight b to d2, and after I castle, this bishop's loose. So you know this pin becomes more nefarious, and I want to castle because I want to play a6 and not hang this rook. So okay, he takes and gives me a tempo. So I castle now, and rook g, rook g1. Yeah, very brutal. Okay, so rook c8, I kind of ignore it, and I don't know whether he has anything in this attack or not, but I guess we'll find out. So I take, which is normal. I'm opening the c file. He ignores, so I push the pawn, and I was looking at. I mean, this is interesting. I'm opening the idea. I'm like, I have ideas of pushing this pawn someday, or just freeing my position in general. Like, this is an important pawn push, I think, because if I move my knight and I allow him to recapture, then this enters all closed. Like, he's got pawns in the center, and he's the one attacking me, and I have no counterplay. So I think this is an important move just to get some counterplay. Okay, knight e4, knight e5, finally. But perhaps knight e5 is not the best. Perhaps he wants to play, like, if he really wants to attack me, like some sort of h4, h5, g6, or maybe even g6 immediately. You know, g6, knight, g5, with the idea that now this knight's pinned to checkmate. Would have been a potential idea, but maybe g6 I take this way. So that's why h4, h5, h4, h5, g6 may have been better, but this is obviously very slow. Like, I'm developing very quickly. I'm getting all my pieces out, putting them on good squares, and he's just pushing pawns. So, okay, I get a tempo. And now his queen's back on c2, which... I mean, who knows, like maybe then I could use the square later, but okay, I think knight a3 in a lot of these positions, like in this exact position, I think knight a3 is really good. Because after he takes on b5, he's threatening of playing knight d7. So that would have been really good. Okay, but this doesn't happen, and he allows me to capture. Probably taking here might be a mistake, but I don't see anything better for him. And now he blocks, which is probably the only reasonable move. I mean, if he moves, is he getting mated? Probably not. Check, he takes, so he's not getting mated. Maybe he should have just moved. Blocking gives me an exchange, and obviously now I really don't want to take queens because his king is less safe than mine. I start throwing in some checks. I could have taken here right away. Oh, I did. Okay, I took. Yeah, I remember now. Took here, and now I've got threats. So yeah, and I was expecting him to play something like this. So yeah, this is just blunders mate in two. Yeah, and so that's how that cookie crumbles. Now we can turn on the engine and see if I missed anything, which I probably did. And again, I have no idea how to do this. Enable evaluation gauge. Okay, so in F4, the computer hates this move, but I mean, it's probably fine. I wonder if there's any games in this position. Let's put the book up. There's some Grandmaster games in this position. That's kind of interesting. With some good results for white, actually. So yeah, obviously this doesn't throw away anything. You can actually transpose a lot of normal positions here. C3, this is all fine. Knight c6, bishop b5. Yeah, I was criticizing bishop b5 because you're moving your bishop multiple times in the opening. You kind of want to avoid that. So okay, I play queen b6, just trying to play normal. Queen a4 doesn't like either. It wants to play bishop back to d3, which looks really ugly because you played bishop d3 to b5 to d3. So it's like if you're not playing queen a4, you're not justifying your play. Okay. Did I play well? He says the computer said I played well. I did play well. I made 1 mistake, no blunders, 3 inaccuracies, 28 hours, any pawn loss. Okay, bishop e7. Doesn't like bishop e7. I was just talking about me, quote unquote, playing well. It liked bishop d6. As soon as I played bishop e7, I was like, probably bishop d6 was stronger. Just because bishop d6 stops knight e5. Bishop e7 doesn't do much. So inaccurate. Knight f3, bishop d7, bishop takes, which is fine apparently. This is not bad. Castles, rook g1. I mean, rook g1, what do you want to say about rook g1? Like, it's obviously he should castle in here in this position. He should castle and try to play for some, like, you know, king h1 and then get his pieces out and try to get some position. Because he's not down material or anything yet. But rook g1 was a little ambitious. Yeah, castles is what's recommended. Okay, rook ac8. Again, I'm playing just really normal moves here. g4, cd4 is normal. g5. Apparently this is a mistake. You should recapture. And I think I played d3, which is a good move. So I'm really glad that d3. I wonder if it's a computer recommendation here. Yeah, it is. Perfect. Yeah. So obviously I was when I took on d4, I saw g5, d3. So d3 he takes, which is probably the best move. Knight e4, knight e5. Again, I was thinking maybe he wanted to play like g6 and put his knight somewhere, but apparently knight d4 here is the best. Knight d4. Knight d4 makes sense. It kind of asks me if I really want to push e5 and or prepare e5 or something, and threatens to take the slight square bishop. So okay. So and also like with knight e4, I can't play this move because he just snaps it off. Okay, so bishop b5. This was a blunder. Yeah, knight d4 is way better. Okay, straight up blunder apparently. So now his position is very bad. According to the computer, this is completely losing. c4 apparently the best. I was looking at c4 and just trading everything like this type of variation where I take, which is probably not the best move. But I was like, okay, well, this should be fine. And knight d2. And in this position, materials even. I have slightly more of initiative. Computer still likes it a lot. I was looking at that type of continuation. Okay, bishop c5. Computer doesn't like as much. What does it want to play? It wants to play f6. I was looking at f6 in this position. Man, you guys. As I was playing the game, you guys probably heard me go like, "Oh, I want to play f6, but never play f6." Like you heard me go like, "Oh man, I was like, man, it's like it's calling to be played because my pieces are all perfect. Like if he takes, my bishop's awesome. And if he doesn't take and play something like this, I'm taking here." So it's just like it's a nice position. Like f6 is a high class waiting move in this position. So I should have kind of considered it more, but yeah, I guess I didn't want to play f6 because I don't like playing f6. It just weakens the king side. But in this position, it was perfectly fine. Another problem with f6 is that it opens the g file. So obviously, I'm a little reluctant to play it. You know, after takes. But okay, it's not. Perhaps the computer says it's not that big a deal. Okay, bishop c5, rook g2. Which is fine. I was expecting like knight a3. I wonder if this works if I just take it with a bishop or something. Knight a3, bishop takes a3 is the best, which is unusual. But is there a tactic here? Rook takes c3. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is brutal. Yeah, okay. This is just crushing. That's interesting. I didn't see rook takes c3. Rook takes c3. Obviously, with the idea like because once you take on a3, this pawn's hanging. So. Okay, I didn't see rook takes c3. I thought knight e3 was a fine try. Rook g2 is better. Okay, so bishop takes, and then bishop takes. Yeah, I was like, what else does he have other than taking here? Apparently, best move here is knight a3 now because there's no bishop takes a3. That makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, so bishop takes, queen takes, and rook e2. Is there a mate in 1? Oh, there was a mate in 1. Shit. I missed a mate in 1. Oh, it's so sad. See, as soon as he took with a queen, I was like, oh, this looks like a mate in 1. But then, like, in this position, I didn't see that this was totally a mate in 1. Ah, fuck. I should have seen that. Okay, this is definitely a blunder, me not checkmating him on the spot, but okay. What's the move here? Queen c1 checks the best. I wonder what queen c1, what the continuation after queen c1. Is it just that, I take here? Queen e3. Aren't we repeating? Queen c1, queen d1, queen takes b2. So yeah, the computer wants to do this immediately and grab more material. But I wanted to make this knight more loose. and I wanted to get him away from my king because I don't want to deal with tactics. Okay, and probably queen c1 now is fine. What's his best? Does he have anything better than knight f3? Knight d3, giving up the knight. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's nothing much to do here. This game's over. Knight c3, rook c1, mate 2. I mean, it's really hard to find king f1 in this position. But yeah, so yeah, and even if he didn't blunder mate, I'm still gonna try to trade everything. I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna trade queens and trade rooks. I'm gonna be up material in the endgame. So yeah, so okay, this could have gone better for him, but okay. So having a look, so I played pretty well. One mistake, I think the mistake was over here, where I didn't play f6, which is kind of sad because that's a sad mistake to have. But okay, I'm pretty happy with that game, and I will kind of clip the video here.